Hey everyone, Bill Parish here from GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Well, today I wanted to talk about something a little different and really talk about some bang for your buck products or a segment of the industry, I would say. I was reading the latest Absolute Sound and got to the back page. And it says greatest bargains in integrated systems, subwoofers, and loudspeakers. And, you know, we can cover all of this, but one thing is integrated systems. It's an interesting term. I've always referred to it as powered speakers, but that's not what it is. It's an integrated system. It's an entire system. You just need to add a source. And so I think the Absolute Sound nailed it. I never thought of it before as an integrated system, but that's exactly what it is. And I've been thinking of this episode for a while now, and you know, I like this stuff. I absolutely like this. This is just phenomenal. Products usually with a huge bang for your buck. You know, it's like, what does Bill like? Well, I'll tell you, I like this, and I'm going to prove it to you because I'm going to tell you how we're using it. And I'm going to name four integrated systems I have around here at my place, and just how we're using them. And I think they're, well, let's go along for the ride, huh? First off, right on apps, I agree with the Absolute Sound, not with everything, but certainly the first item on the list. They call it the KEF LSX. Well, now it's the LSX II. It's a little pair of powered speakers. I'll pop everything up on the screen here. $1,400 US. You can, out of your phone, and KEF has apps. It integrates with Roon, so it's Roon ready. It has an eARC for enhanced audio return channel for TVs. It's certainly better than any soundbar out there. It's got all sorts of inputs, outputs, works with Bluetooth. You can do the Qobuz title, Pandora, you know, what else? I don't know. All those different things. Deezer, I saw in the specs, whatever Deezer is. I know Qobuz and Tidal. That's what we talk about in high-end audio. But anyway, $1,400. This thing is just a massive bargain. I would say to get this type of sound out of a separate, say, amp and preamp, and not just volume, because these are kind of small, but it's quality here. It's quality over quantity in this in this particular speaker. But you know, transient response, they do everything. You'd probably be looking at $4,000 to $5,000 in separates, and that's gonna, I still, maybe $7,500. You're not gonna get that type of quality. Now I've got these in my living room, buried in a bookshelf, laying on their side. I go in there. Well, living room, I called it. It's probably more of a library, but I go in there and I want some background music. Want things nice and low. I pull up Roon on my iPad or my iPhone. It also works with AirPlay. Go right over to it, and I can just produce some smooth sound, nice and quiet, enjoyable, crystal clear, top-notch quality. This is what these are made for. Well, it can also be next to a desktop or, you know, anywhere you want a little speaker that's like 8 inches by 5 inches by 6 inches deep, something like that. Now we get in the next step up, I think. Now we really get into something that can be a serious audio system at $2,800 retail. Now this is something that where I don't know, 15,000 in separates will not touch it. And that is the KEF LS50 Wireless Mark IIs. Everything that I mentioned about the LSX2s with the eARC and Apple AirPlay and Bluetooth and all the inputs and the outputs and the streaming. And oh, by the way, these products do DSD as well. Roon, eARC, all that stuff. But this speaker now, this speaker plays loud, dynamic, transient responses are off the charts. Imaging beyond belief. Yeah, what like at least 15, 20 grand, I would say that this is going to, you know, you're going to be trying to replicate this sound in separates. None of this stuff needs any cabling. It's all power cords and cat cable. That's all any of this needs. KEF is phenomenal in their power speakers, and it's a company with a very long history. But the LS50 Wireless IIs, guys, these things are phenomenal. And you know, why am I talking about this? We usually talk about niche products and super high price products and things that are the absolute cutting edge. Well, I find that this is cutting edge. These integrated systems are cutting edge. It's new technology. It's not the powered speakers I've been using in my screening room since 2008, the Genelec powered speakers. This is more. This is an entire system. Add a source, which could be, you know, an iPhone. You go out there, you get your music, you stream right to it. I'm integrated with Roon, but these things are quite incredible. Come with tons of different colors, and the LS50 Wireless IIs. Now you take a subwoofer, which KEF happens to make an incredible one. You take that subwoofer for under 5 grand, you've got a system that, I don't know, in a conventional system, you've got to be pushing about 30, 40 grand. Plays full range, plays big, huge, completely disappears because everything's through that UniQ meta driver that's like a single source point. Just, it's amazing. And then I just said KEF has a long history. KEF is celebrating their 60th anniversary this year. What speaker company? It's been around that long. Well, I guess Klipsch has been around for 75 years. God, we're carrying some really old brands here. Anyway, 60 years of continuous production, always on the cutting edge, and they come out this year with the LS60. Again, pop it up there on the screen. The LS60 is everything that the LSX2s, the LS50 Wireless IIs are, but it's floor mounted. You could add subs, but I don't think you need subs because this thing has, I mean, it's it has 4 drivers on the side and a push-push. This thing rocks. Dynamics off the chart. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Super high quality. Extremely dynamic, does every audiophile hi-fi thing correctly. 7K. Oh, I told you I'd let you know how I'm using things as well. Everyone that comes here for a demo, they pass a back office. In that back office, you see a pair of LS50 Wireless IIs with a sub sitting next to an OLED display, which, by the way, is using the Apple TV X that we covered in the previous episode. So we've got sound and the best video available on one of the best screens available in a back office. Make sure that if I don't offer it, make sure you demo that little system when you walk by. That is just spectacular. All right, so now we're back at the LS60s. We've got these in another room next to, on each side of a television of a flat screen mounted on a wall. Super they're $7,000. I don't know, 30, 40 grand, something like that to compete with this. I mean, the quality is so high. The amplification is so good. The transparency, I say dynamics because that's what all these wireless or integrated systems do so well. Powered speakers. You get away from those passive crossovers which tire the longer you play them and take forever to break in and rob the amplifiers of power and yeah, that's you go into an active speaker, you get that pop factor better than anything. Well, and these are full range. I mean, the LS60s, these things punch and kick like nobody's business. I mean, it's only the next speaker up that I'm going to talk about can probably beat them. And that is from that company Kii Audio, which we introduced and brought into the U.S. many years ago. They're still making the Kii 3. The Kii 3, I think, is the finest powered speaker, or see, here I go again, powered speaker. The finest integrated system money can buy. It's cheap. It's gone up $4 grand since we introduced it. We introduced it many, many years ago at $13,900. It is $17,900 today, and it's worth every penny. I mean, this is the Bruno Puzzi's design. All of these speakers have an amplifier for each driver. It's the only way to do it. They all got A to D's and D to A's in them. This does as well. This is using DSP. It's got EQs in it if you want to use that. It's got 6 Encore amps and then 6 D to A's, a single A to D. It's a DSP crossover. The Kii 3s are used in so many recording studios, so many mixing studios. Since we brought them to the U.S., we started importing them. That had to be, well, they do it themselves now. We're still a dealer. But 3, 4, 6 or 7 years ago, man, how time flies. Well, since we did that, there's been a pair on permanent display in my family room next to a big screen that drops down, next to a credenza, a projector on the ceiling, and that has been the mainstay in that room. If I took them out of the room, I think I'd get killed. I mean, I've been told that those are her speakers, and I better not touch them. Those Kii 3s that is a permanent display right there. But full range, shakes the room, car door slams, tires screech, gunshots go off. Subtlety and whispers on the screen, you name it, the Kii 3s deliver phenomenally well. And that's on the stand. On the stand, $17,900. Add another 15 grand. Get the BXT, which is the bass extension tower. So now you're up to $33,000. There's nothing out there in an integrated system that can beat it as far as SPLs, transient response, resolution. It's second to none. Second to none. These guys, the Kii 3s at $17,900. To get this type of quality, you're probably at 60,000 and you're not going as deep. You don't have the bass energy. especially that mid-bass punch. You know, with the BXT tower, you're probably at $100,000 in separates. So you can see the type of value we're talking about. Now we're talking about value, and I'm talking about the multiples you'd have to spend in a conventional system to beat it. One thing that none of these do that I wish they would do, and these integrated systems, they are so incredible. But I'm going to give you a negative, because, you know, there's always pluses and minuses. Right now, they do every audiophile spectacular thing correctly. But I've yet to meet one that really connects to the soul, that really has that emotion. Now, some of you may not listen that way, may not understand what I'm talking about. I know most engineers don't know what I'm talking about, and that's why we have these things, and thank God for them, because they are incredible. And again, from a technical standpoint, recording engineers, mixing engineers, there's probably more of those that own keys than consumers, even though every consumer should have a key. Every consumer should have a LS50 Wireless II, an LS60, an LSX Mark II. These are just incredible speakers. But, you know, if you're going to sit back and have that late night listening session and get into some female vocals or even some symphonic stuff, that's where I find it, you know, falls short just a little bit, is conveying the emotion. Other than that, you know, or if you're not using them in that way, like I'm not, I'm using them next to like 2-channel theater systems, background music in the library, that type of stuff, just to spread super high quality music around the home. You cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong, and it's easy on the budget. Well, I thought I would just throw that out there. Again, I think it's important. I've been trying to figure out a way of doing a video on what I was calling active systems. Now I'm going to call it integrated systems. The Absolute Sound here gave me the push to get out here and do this today for you. With that said, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.